So the first verse of the Gita is Dhrtarastra uvacha dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsavaha mamakav pandavaschaiva kimakurvata Sanjaya. So Dhrtarastra, who is the father of Kaurava, the eldest of whom is Duryodhana, is now asking whom? Sanjaya. In the battlefield, everybody is gathered. Who have gathered? My people and Pandu's sons, who are Pandavas, and what is happening between them. So from this verse, it is obvious that the negotiations have failed and the battle is about to begin. In the battle which is about to begin, Sanjaya has been given the capacity to see what is going on. Duryodhana is there, right? He's fighting the war. The Pandu's sons, Pandavas, are there. The entire army is gathered, and Dhrtarashtra is very curious as to what is going on. We all know that Bhagavad Gita is actually a dialogue between Arjuna and Lord Krishna. But in fact, it is a dialogue in quote. It is Dhrtarashtra who's talking to Sanjaya, and Sanjaya is narrating the whole story. So that means the dialogue between Lord Krishna and Arjuna is within quotes, within the quotes of the dialogue that is taking place between Dhrtarashtra and Sanjaya. Obviously, Dhrtarashtra is he's blind, he's not able to see what is going on, he's not able to participate in the war either. He's sitting in his palace, very anxious, wanting to know what is happening. And what he says is something which is very revealing. He asks the question that in this battlefield, which is not a normal battlefield, in the sense that generally when kings come to fight, each one wants to expand one's own kingdom, each one has one's own ambition, and therefore they are just there who are fighting to somehow increase their sphere of power. But this battlefield, Dhrtarashtra himself recognizes is Dharmakshetra. Here, a battle is fought not just for personal ambitions but for the protection of dharma. Dharma is the sense of right. Now, who is on the side of right? Even Dhrtarashtra recognizes that it is the Pandu's son, Pandava, who are in the side of the right. Why? Because they are willing to compromise everything in order to avoid the battle. They are willing to give up the kingdom that they legitimately deserve, and they are willing to negotiate to the point that they can settle for only one house. In spite of all of that, Duryodhana has insisted on not giving back anything. So who is on the wrong? His own son, Duryodhana, who is unwilling to budge and even give a little bit of something that he actually doesn't deserve in the first place. Now, if this is the case, that Pandu's sons are fighting on the side which is the right side, and his own son who's fighting, who's on the wrong side, why is it that Dhrtarashtra as a father cannot put his foot down and tell his son Duryodhana to stop? Why can't he say, hey, settle for something much more reasonable so that this huge war can be avoided? He could have easily intervened, he could have put his foot down, and Duryodhana probably had to follow the advice of his father. But he is unable to do that, he is unwilling to do that. What is the reason? And that is given in the second verse, second line of this verse, and that says Mamakav Pandavaschaiva. The whole vision of Dhritarashtra is vitiated because he considers his own son as his and Pandu's son not as his, because he says Pandava are some people who are other than his people. What does it indicate? It indicates that generally we are quite clear about what is right and wrong. And this right and wrong we are able to apply very easily with reference to others. When somebody else's son is doing something which is inappropriate, we are the first one to point out. We are saying, see how he is doing that, how he is using the money of his father, he is wasting away all the resources. But when it comes to our own people, our standards of assessing what is right and what is wrong change completely. In fact, we always try to defend our own people. We don't apply the same principles at all when it comes to our own people. We defend them, we protect them, we ignore what they do, and we are not able to stand up and fight, not even fight, but in fact stand for what is right and then make the other person see. And that is our love for them, which in fact out of love we become incapacitated to make appropriate decisions. And that's exactly what is happening with Dhritarashtra. He recognizes that who is on the right side, who is on the wrong side, because he qualifies this battle as Dharmakshetra, which is meant to fight for the righteousness, and at the same time he happens to be on the side of wrong, which is his own son. He is unable to stand up for dharma because his love for his son is far more overpowering than his sense of what is right and what is wrong. And this is his state, and this is why he is anxious also. He is anxious to know what is going to be the outcome, because deep inside he also recognizes that if you're on the side of the wrong, the chances of you winning are not very high. Okay. At the same time, he is unable to stop, so he is asking Sanjaya this question. And now let us see what is happening with reference to Arjuna. Arjuna is also present. He is also ready to fight the battle. So let's see what is his reaction. Dhritarashtra uvacha dharmakshetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsavaha Mamakav Pandavaschaiva Kimakurvata Sanjaya.